Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. Getting right into the video, man. I posted about 4 months ago a video about how I felt about working as a correctional officer. For those of you that just tuned in to my channel or just tapping in with me, I've been working as a correctional officer since 2011. So going on 12 years now, And that video I posted a few months ago, I talked about, how I really felt about the job, the ups, the downs. I gave a lot of in-depth details and whatnot. That video has got about 6,000 views on it to date. And I've had a lot of people in high school, people in college, they've been asking me, DMing me about the job, the hiring process, what to expect, how the inmates are the inmates intimidating. They've been asking me how long does it take to get hired, all kind of questions, man. It's been a lot of good feedback. I try to help people as much as I can. I try to put them in the best position they can. They really interested in the career, the job. I try to educate people, because it's not like what you see on TV. A lot of the stuff you see on TV is it's made for TV. It's sensationalized, So I try to give people an in-depth as far as what's going on from somebody that's actually working in a correctional setting. I started in the county jail. I spent 2 years there. Then I got on with the federal prison system. I did 2 years at a federal prison in West Virginia. And then I transferred to the federal prison down here in North Carolina back in 2015, So like I said, I've been around 12 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, man. I've found inmates that have hung themselves. I had to do CPR on an inmate, man. He had 3 heart attacks and died in the shower. He was on my unit. I had to do CPR, ended up saving his life. I've seen fights. Inmates get stabbed, riots, like 50 inmates plus fighting, going at it, man, stabbing each other, all kinds of stuff. Natural disaster. I done worked through COVID in the prison setting, man. As you can imagine, COVID was a crazy period, man. It changed the whole world. So you can imagine how it was working inside a prison during COVID, So I done been around the block, man. I'm just here to try to educate people. Try to help out as many people that might be interested in the job and this and that, man. But this video, I'm going to talk about the pay, the salary. I've been getting a lot of questions about what's the pay like? What can I expect? How much can I expect to make? I'm going to give y'all a quick rundown of what my pay was like when I first started to today. So when I first started, 2011, I was in West Virginia, right? So I was still in college when I got that job, man, at the county jail. I studied criminal justice. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my degree. So I talked to some of my professors, and, one of them, he said he used to work as a correctional officer back in the day. He was like, why don't you get at a shot? So I applied for the job, long story short, and I got the job. And by the time I graduated with my degree, I had been working on the job like 9 months. I would work night shift. By this time, I was a senior, so I had moved off campus, So I would work night shift and still go on campus and do my last few classes I needed to graduate and whatnot. So, but back then, my starting salary back then was only $23,000 a year, man. This is back in 2011, but you got to factor in certain things, though. So for one, I'm living in West Virginia. The cost of living in West Virginia is pretty low compared to the rest of the United States. So I'm making $23,000, but with the overtime shift, because we were short staffed, we had a high turnover rate. People would get the job, come on as a correctional officer. They decided they didn't like it, and they would leave. Like a lot of people would leave 6 months to a year. So it wasn't nothing for you to be a rookie. In like 2 years, you at the top of the roster as far as seniority, you getting the weekends off, stuff like that. So I was making $23,000, but with overtime, having to work overtime and stuff, sometimes it was mandatory. Sometimes I would pick it up. My salary was about $43,000 both of those years I worked at the county jail. So you got to factor in, like I said, the cost of living in West Virginia is pretty low. So for me to be making that at that time, I was 21, 22. I didn't really have a lot of bills. I'm fresh out of college. So that was back then, that was good money to me, man. It was plenty money, to pay my bills. I had money left over. So, it was pretty good. But fast forward 2 years later, I got on with the federal prison system. Just from me getting hired on with the Bureau of Prisons, I started at a federal prison in West Virginia. My base salary then, when I first started, that was 2013, was 38, I think it was like 38,000 and some change. So just from me going from the county jail, the state, to the federal prison, I went from 23,000 a year to 38,000 a year for my base. So that's what, 23, 33, 30, that's like a $15,000 pay raise just off the rip. But then you got to factor this in, right? So like I said, the federal prison system, you get paid more money if you work, you get shift differential pay. So anytime you work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., I think you get 10% more on the hour. If you work Sundays, you get paid 25% more on the hour. Then, like I said, it was a little bit of overtime at that prison I was at. So sometimes I would have to work some overtime shifts, but it wasn't much back then. The mandates wasn't bad at that prison. So I think my first year there at the federal prison in West, I think I cleared maybe 50-ish, maybe 60,000. Okay, so boom, that was my first year. My second year there, I said I was trying to leave West Virginia, man. I got tired of West Virginia. Anybody that's ever lived in West Virginia, been through West Virginia, it's kind of like a small town. It's not a lot to do. I'm a city boy. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Only reason I had went to West Virginia and went to college out there is because I had got a football scholarship. So I lived in West Virginia for 6 years. But by that time, towards the end, I was like, man, I'm trying to get to like a bigger city, where more stuff to do. The nightlife's a little better. Stuff like that. So I think that second year I started working a little more overtime, and I made up in my mind that I was going to transfer, and I wanted to buy a house, wherever prison I transferred to. So that second year I think it was about, I started doing a little more overtime, and I wasn't doing but maybe 2 or 3 shifts a week. That second year I made like 70,000 and some change, right? So you go from when I first started the county jail, 2011, to my last year at that federal prison in West Virginia. That's down there $40,000 pay raise, going from making 43,000 to making that second year 70,000. But it gets better though, right? So I started looking at other prisons, where I wanted to transfer to, and I came up upon the federal prison here in North Carolina. So I came down. I spent a weekend in Raleigh, and I was like, okay, I like this area, man. It's a lot more to do. It's like a college town. You got NC State right here. You got Duke University. You got UNC Chapel Hill, where Michael Jordan went to school. So it's like a lot of colleges around. It's a lot of restaurants. The nightlife's cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna put in for down here. So I put in my transfer paperwork, and it went through. I got approved. So I was like, all right, boom, I'm going to North Carolina. So I have been, like I said, my last year, my last spot, when I was working at the federal prison, I had been working overtime, stacking up money. So I stacked up about 10 grand. So right when I first came down here, I was able to buy a house off the rip, before I even started, man. I spent like 2 months going through the home buying process. So boom, I was good on that end. I was one of my main goals was like, whatever I transferred to, I said I want to buy a house. So that was 2015. Boom, I bought my house. I transferred down here to the federal prison in North Carolina, so I'm good. That first year down here, man, this prison, it's a lot more overtime opportunities, man. It's a medical facility, so a lot of the inmates are sick. So a lot of the inmates, they have to go to the outside hospital. When they go to the outside hospital, it's 2 officers that has to be with them the whole time they're gone. So if you imagine, if you got a lot of inmates that's going out to the outside hospital on a daily basis, that creates a lot of overtime opportunities, a lot of shifts that have to be filled at the prison. Because you take 2 officers away from the prison and then they're at the outside hospital. That's two whole shifts, 2 whole posts you got to fill either with overtime or somebody volunteering. So that first year, 2015, man, I hit the ground running. I knew somebody that had transferred from my prison down here, and the people that was at my prison, they knew him too. They was telling me, yo, it's this dude down there going at the prison that you're transferring to, man. He's making a killing. He's making a fortune. It's a lot of overtime down there, man. So I had kind of knew what was up. So I came down, man. My first year down here, I made like $85,000 my first year when I transferred down here. So I'm like, cool, man. They got it like that. So I'm like, all right, bet. After that, man, it just kept going up. My second, third, fourth year, man, I was making 90,000. Then it's like I'm at 106 figures. I'm making 6 figures with overtime. I'm killing the game. So I feel the last probably 5 or 6 years I've made every year over $100,000. That's with overtime. This past year alone, 2023, man, I was crushing the overtime. I was hitting them so hard. I made like $148,000, man. My last pay stub for the end of the year, 2023, I was at $143,000, man. That's good money just to be like a goddamn correctional officer. A correct COs, prison guards, they kind of look down on in society, man. Like other law enforcement, like cops on the street, they like, that's not really law enforcement. Stuff like that, man. I'm like this. They can say what they want to say, man. Look at the bank account, man. I'm making bread. $143,000, man. I'm 34. I done bought a house, both cars paid off. I got investments. I'm investing money, get to travel around the world. I done got all kind of shit, man, stacking money. Once I pay my bills, there's plenty of money left over to do what I need to be doing, man. So I try to take advantage of the extra money, the extra hours. I'll try to bump my retirement up. I'm putting in like 20% in my retirement off the top. I invest extra money, buy stocks on crypto on top of that every time I get paid. So to me, I'm like, shit, the money's great, man. I look at that from that aspect. I'm all about the money, man. I'm going where the money's at, But I say all that to say this, though, for my people that might be interested in the job, looking into it, a lot of that, what you make, is going to depend on a few things. It's going to depend on the agency you work for, whether it's state or federal. It's going to depend on what state you're in, because certain states, the cost of living might be a little higher or lower. So the starting pay might be, it might be higher or it could be lower. Like I said, when I was in West Virginia, my last federal prison, the most I made was like 60,000. Transferred down here to the federal prison in North Carolina, I'd have made over 6 figures the last 6 years working at this prison. So it's a little different, man. It all depends on, like a number of things, how short they are on staff, which I feel like most prisons in the U.S. right now are short on correctional officers, man. We need officers bad, it's down there like, as long as you got a good background, you apply for the job. You could be on the job in certain prisons in like maybe damn near 3 months, 4 months top. You could be in the door working, on the job, making this money, But the pay, it depends on where you at. I think most places, they starting to up their salaries. I know like in North Carolina, the state prisons, I think they start off around 40,000 or so. The federal prison, like I say, the cost of living, it might be higher or lower depending on where you at. It averages around, I think, like 45, maybe high 40,000s to like maybe 55,000. Some spots like New York, California, where it's a high cost of living, you might start off making 60,000 out the door, And then you factor in like the overtime, some of that overtime is not going to be like volunteer. Like me, I'm one of the people, like I'm a money getter. I'm a hustler. So they got all these extra shifts, overtime shifts. I take them. I volunteer. I do like 4 16-hour shifts a week. So my base schedule was I work 5 8s, 40 hours a week. So I'm doing a whole nother 32 hours on top of that every week. That's damn 70 hours every week, man. So you can imagine, I'm down there doing double with the average person working a 9 to 5 shift. I'm working twice that in 1 week. So you can imagine what the money's like. Anything over 40 hours is time and a half pay. So you getting paid on the hour times 5.5. So 1.5. So that shit add up quick. And then, like I said, you got shift differential. A lot of prisons pay. If you work the night shift, second shift, you make more money. You work the weekends, you make more money. You work the holidays, you get your regular pay and holiday pay. So it's like you getting paid double. So it's like sometimes I work the holidays, you know, I might do overtime even on them days. So I'm getting paid triple. I'm getting paid my regular 8. I'm getting paid 8 hours of holiday pay, and I'm getting paid 8 hours of overtime pay. So I done cleaned up, boy. I'm like a fat cat walking off to the bank, man. Pockets heavy, man. So all my people that's trying to get on with the job, man, hit me up. You know, y'all got any more questions, man? Like I said, the pay depends on where you going to be working at. Most places, like I say, it can range from anywhere to like 30,000 to maybe almost 60,000 starting off for a rookie CO. But like I said, man, a lot of prisons and jails nationwide, they short on officers. So you're not going to just make 30 to 60,000. You know, you're going to make more than that because you got to factor in. Sometimes you might get hit or mandated or forced to work overtime shifts. If you a hustler, a grinder like me, and they got extra hours, shit, you probably gonna pick them shifts up. And so your salary, let's say you start off out the door making 45,000. After overtime, working some holidays, some weekends, shift differential, your salary really might be damn near 45. It might jump to 75,000. You know, you got to factor that in. You know, but like overall, man, the job's been good to me. You know, my 12 years, you know, does it has its downs? Yes, but every job has its ups and downs. You know, people ask me, is it a stressful job? I honestly don't feel it's a stressful job. It has its moments. You know, I seen some crazy shit working 12 years inside a prison. But like I say, it's all in your mindset. If you go in there with a positive mindset and when you leave the job at work, don't take the job home with you, man, you will be golden. You're going to be good, you know. So I don't take the job home with me. When I'm out here in the free world, I'm living my best life. I'm doing the things I love to do, you know, go to the gym, go out to eat, travel, stuff like that, man. Then when I go back to work, it's back on game mode, you know. And the pay been good, man. Like I said, I done made over 6 figures every year. The damn past 5, I probably made, man, probably down there 800,000, almost $1 million in salary. My past damn 8 years working, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the pay, the salary, man, just all depends, man, on where you at, man. But like I said, you're not just going to make that salary you think. So don't go into it, man. You whatever state you in, you like, oh, they only make 30,000. That ain't a lot of money. Don't go into it with that mindset. You got to, like I said, factor in the overtime because most places are short-staffed. They can't get enough COs in the door. The weekends, holidays, you might get paid more money. So that 30 is realistically probably like 60, 70,000. And you can go from there. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website. This is one of my shirts right here. Did I give you permission to skip the gym? And I got the Major Pain from the movie Major Pain. A lot of my stuff on my website, hoodie, t-shirts, a lot of it's gym related, fitness, motivational type stuff. But still, man, if you want to support your boy, get you a hoodie, cop you a t-shirt. I got all sizes, all colors available, man. Shop with me, www.theghettobodybuilder.com, man. But I hope this video answered some of y'all's questions about what the pay is like, what's the salary like, you know, and it give you more insight of what you can kind of expect to make working as a correctional officer. And you got to factor this in too. You know, as a rookie, you know, you move up too now. Most places, as you've been in, you 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10, you start making more money. Your salary goes up. So, like I said, I've been in 12 years or 10 years with the feds, the federal prison. So my salary from when I first started was like, I think, was 6 step 1. That's I think it's like maybe 55,000, 50, some change, maybe 57. But my base pay now, where I'm at like damn 71,000, and they keep going up. You know, we so short staffed. They got special incentives, like they giving us like a 25% bonus. You know, to try to retain more officers, to try to recruit more people to make the job more attractive. So you factor in 25% bonus, retention bonus on top of what I'm making, 71,000 a year right now. That's damn near probably what, like almost what, 80, 85,000. That's damn near $100,000 just in my base pay. Then factor on top of that, you know I'm still gonna hustle. I'm still gonna get this money, get this overtime. So shit, man. Factor that, I might be down there making. I made, like I said, alone last year, $150,000. You know, so I might down there be making $200,000. I might goddamn be making damn near what the mayor of North Carolina makes, some of these counties, man. So like I say, the money good to me, man. I feel like for what we get paid to do, man, shit, we don't hardly do shit. You just sit there most days, you sit there on the unit with the inmates, you know, and you got an office. You right there on the unit. The office got a computer, a phone. Shit, you just do your rounds every so often. Make sure none of the inmates fight and stab each other, trying to hurt themselves, trying to escape. And after that, you just go sit back down till it's time to do your next round. It's easy money, man. It's like taking candy from a baby, man, you know. Yeah, you're going to deal with some shit sometimes. You might have to break up a fight. You might have to pepper spray some inmates. Maybe an inmate could possibly jump on you, try to assault you, try to stab you, beat you up. But shit, you gotta deal with that in the free world. You might be out here shopping in Walmart, a crazy gunman with an AK-47 come in there and just start shooting people. So I feel like a prison is safer than being on the street. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I hope y'all like this video, man. You got any more questions, DM me, comment on this video, man. I've been loving the feedback I've been getting, man. You know, I got a whole bunch of videos I got videos on TikTok, man, talking about the job that got like 70, 80,000 views on there. The video, like I said, I posted a few months ago on my YouTube channel. That got like 6,000 views. So people really interested in this stuff, man. I'm trying, if I can help anybody, educate somebody, man, I done helped probably about 10 people over the years to get jobs working in the prison system, man. So I'll do anything I can to the best of my ability to help you get on with the job and be successful in your career, baby. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.